to another episode of Pardon the Distraction. I'm DJ Blue PDX, and here with me, of course, is the other co-host of the show, our crafter extraordinaire. It's the Lost Drake.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes.
So why don't you tell everybody what we've been doing for the last several hours?
Well, as you guys know, for anybody who's been around, obviously my PC completely took a dog shit. And so now we have been going through audio settings, which should have been a 20-minute process, ended up being almost an hour and a half process. So, audio, the bane of any content creator's existence. So we literally were going back and forth between our Go XLR and everything else and getting everything set up. And so now I think we're good. Hopefully everything sounds good, and it sounds good on the podcast, I hope. Yeah. But yes, that's pretty much what we've been doing. We've been working on all that and getting, all my stuff back up to snuff because we lost a lot of my stuff. I literally lost everything with this PC crash. So we had to rebuild a brand new PC and kind of Frankenstein monstered one and got it all set up. And now we are good, but I still think my internet provider sucks ass. And so I think that is my final step.
Oh, I will definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Well, because I keep getting dips. So basically what's happening is I'll be fine. I'll be running at 6,000 and perfectly smooth when I'm streaming. And then it'll drop down to 10, then 5,000, then to 300, then to 4,000. Dude, it's the weirdest thing. And I honestly think it's my modem that I have from them because I have their panoramic Wi-Fi.
Oh, God.
And so I used to have
Is that Comcast or Cox?
It's Cox, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I never use the one they give.
Well, that's the thing, though, is the reason why we got this one is because we have a tri-level house. So we have it on the kind of the base floor where our living room is at. And we actually got it rewired, so it goes up there. But I have a hard wire that is going down the outside of my wall and coming into my Nighthawk down in my room. And then I have everything from there going into all of my electronics down here. So upstairs, though, it's on the mid floor, and the reason why we did that is so that way everybody could get Wi-Fi, all the devices, everything else, our cameras and all that other stuff around outside of our house and everything. So that's fine, but I hate it. I want it gone. Yeah. I literally, if it happens again to me today in stream, I'm probably gonna call up and be like, hey, because I have a surfboard modem and I bought it.
Yeah.
I have one of these guys.
Okay.
So this is actually what I did have hooked up, and I never had an issue. I had the Eris, and this thing was freaking awesome. And then I had this hooked up to the Nighthawk, and I was golden. Well, can't do that now because I got that panoramic Wi-Fi up there. So it's all like blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's all shitted out. And I've been dealing with that, but we've been this week's been kind of crazy already as it is. We started the Game to Give event with Bungie. And I've been working with them, and that's been awesome. We've already raised $1,026. And if you guys want to donate to that charity and help us out, you'll be helping a lot of people in need. Our goal is 10,000, so we're a ways off, but we're trying to hit that 10,000 before the 22nd. And I'm also going to be front and center live on Twitch on the 16th for 2 hours. So that should be pretty crazy. Hopefully it pops off and it gets really nuts, and we get a bunch of donos, and because right now through my channel I have an exclusive drop that you can only get in the featured streamers channels for the game, so you get an exclusive emblem. And then if you donate up to $100, you also get an in-game sparrow, which is like the riding vehicle. You get a ghost. It's all decked out. It's got a heart on it to represent the Bungie Foundation, and the sparrow is cool too because when you go forward, a bunch of little hearts like confetti come out of it. So it's really cool. So that, and then you get 2 additional emblems. So all that's been going on, and it's kind of been amazing because so many people have been really supportive. And then obviously, like, between everything that's been going on and just chaos and trying to get the PC back up, and that's why we didn't have an episode last week because we couldn't even record because I didn't have my PC. So again, apologize, but I do have amazing, fantastic news. You guys have all been watching the videos like crazy. You've been supporting, pulling up the playlists, watching them, doing exactly what we've been asking. So seriously, guys, thank you so much because we are only 35 watch hours. 35. If everybody opened up the podcast tonight who watches
Yeah.
this, who tunes in, and just literally put it on a playlist and watched it tonight, we will hit that partnership, guys. We will have
That
a
would be
big old
so
shiny
awesome.
check mark. And it'll be awesome too, because it'll be kind of like a belated birthday gift to DJ because he just got done celebrating his birthday for
Yes.
the last couple days and
Oh my
only
God, I'm
remembering
still
one day of it.
recovering. Well, no, I remember all of it. I just, man, yeah, there are,
He went on some adventures.
yeah.
But yeah, so DJ also, I've been saying this, and I think I said it 2 or 3 podcasts ago. Hey DJ, you should get into Fortnite. Nah, I'm never gonna do it. Blee blue, blee blue. And guess who's playing Fortnite and enjoying it?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you
That
what,
guy.
it was, you can thank Puppy for that one because I was beginning my
So you hear that?
whole life.
You hear that? You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
He didn't want to listen to me. He didn't want to listen to me.
Okay.
Been saying it for the last 6 months. Nope. Didn't
Well,
want to listen to me.
I've thought
By the way,
about
I put on
trying it, but
gloves
then
because it's
but
really
I
cold
just
in my room.
was, oh my God.
My
I
mittens.
thought about it, but wasn't at that point because I know
Yeah.
I fixed my account and then Epic finally fixed my shit, which is great.
But it erased all your old stuff.
Erased all my old stuff. I was like, well, fuck it. So the way I start my birthday, I don't know if anybody else knows this. So at my age, we celebrate the birthday for an entire week in this house. Kevin does the same thing.
His
So it
age is
starts off with-
36.
What?
His age is 36.
Sure. Yes. Why not? Starts off with just we get decided what we eat that week, and it was great. We went out to a couple different dinners. It was awesome. Then came my Australian birthday, which was Thursday, because on the 8th it's already the 9th in Australia. So
Yep.
Thursday night we had drinks. I came downstairs to shut everything down, and Puppy was on and he was playing Fortnite. He was like, DJ, you should come play Fortnite. I went, okay. Actually, I think I sounded kind of like him for a second. So I downloaded it, logged in, couldn't believe I was doing it, and then we got three victory royales in a row.
Yeah.
I thought, well, okay, which is great. And I always find it funny because so many people get out in like that first 50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always up into the final 15, if not the final 10.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
But now we're getting more victory royales because I'm not shit anymore.
Yep.
I've been playing so much Siege that, yeah, I don't panic. I've got my mouse settings correct. It's wonderful. And the game has changed so much.
Yeah.
Because, you and I used to shoutcast this
Yep.
at Hype Zone Live. It was
Yep.
a very different game in its infancy at that point. And now it's incredible. And honestly, the no build mode is my jam.
Yeah, no, honestly, even Ninja, all the other people that, literally made their careers on Fortnite, all of them are playing no build. Like the build mode is just, I mean, honestly, it's very try hard, it's very over the top, it's very crazy. And it's crazy to me that like out of all the stuff that they've changed and just updating everything and getting everything situated, I have definitely noticed that with the no build mode, you're not having to worry about, okay, cool, it's actually a fight. You know what I mean? You're actually fighting somebody instead of all of a sudden, oh my God, there's a fucking skyscraper. And and somebody just gets the high ground and pulls a Ben Kenobi on you and just murders you. So, I mean, it's literally like that in itself has definitely been a huge change.
Yeah.
Huge change. And I think just the weapon balancing, the things that they've updated, the things they fixed, so much better.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it, because honestly, at the end of the day, it comes down to just being able to play the game with friends and have a good time. And that's my casual competitive.
Well, and that's the thing, like, because like today I'm going to go stream Griffball because Griffball's on the playlist for one more day and we were kicking ass at it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure that tomorrow I will be, I don't know where my voice broke. I'm pretty sure that tomorrow, did it again. Apparently I'm hitting puberty. I will be playing Fortnite because it's
Yep.
it's a blast. I know that sounds weird, but it's a blast.
No, it is. No, and honestly, like a lot of people still like, oh, it sucks. I hate it. I don't want anything to do with it because they're in the mindset of what the game used to be compared to what it is now.
Yeah, all things all things in moderation. B, uh, you have to evolve with the game, and that's one of the things that I've talked about when it comes to like competitive griftball, where it wasn't. People are like, we're gonna go back to Halo 3. No, because that was Halo 3, for example. The game evolves, movement mechanics evolve, game development evolves, so the naturally the mode has to evolve with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are stale and stagnant. And what happens is the people who are so used to succeeding in one specific game type or in one specific variant of the game get all pissy because suddenly they're not at the top anymore. And so rather than
Well, that's pretty much the whole
learn
Halo
skills,
franchise right
yeah,
now. Like
yeah,
everybody,
and
everybody is just like, and I've definitely noticed it, especially since Halo Infinite came out. But just in general, like even like a lot of people still play the Master Chief Collection, that are diehard Halo fans. But if you actually
mhm.
look at it on the directory, the game is dying. It is dead. Like compared to
Esports,
all the other ones, it's just
the Halo
really just
esports
tanked it.
is great. Like that shit is amazing.
Yeah,
But and
but it's
I
a
will
niche
watch,
crowd though. You know what I
but I
mean?
will
It's a
watch esports like that constantly
yeah.
just for the sheer fact that it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. The competitive nature of it is really awesome. All the esports. I mean, like even when I played Halo 2, like I used to love I would get so wrapped up in it night and day, sleep and breathe Halo and, practicing every single day. And
Yeah.
it's just like now, like I just, like I definitely as I've gotten older, I've definitely noticed that like I'm not as competitive, but when I get competitive, I am brutal. Like I am no holds barred, go for the throat, like get the fuck out of my way. And because I get really into the games that I play.
Yeah.
But also too like Halo, Fortnite, all these games, like especially Apex as it's been rising through the ranks as one of the main BRs. Because right now, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, what are the main BRs? It's Call of Duty, Fortnite,
Yep.
and Apex. Like, I don't even know any others. Like, I mean, there are others, of course, but those are the three. Like, those are the three categories of BRs.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to me still in this industry and where we're at right now that we have not got another company to come in and go into that space and actually been successful. It is very weird. Apex dropped out of a whim. Nobody even knew it was coming out.
Yeah. And,
And they dropped it, and everybody thought it was Titanfall. Everybody was going ape shit. And because there was so much love for Titanfall, when that launched, everybody's like, what the fuck is this? And it came out of nowhere. Because you remember when it dropped, we were like, what? And then like the next week, they were like, at Mixer, they were like, hey, you're going to be shoutcasting Apex. We're like, what?
Yep.
What? We don't even know anything about this game. It's only been out like 2 weeks. And so yeah, but stuff like that, like if EA, who we all know has a shadowed past, and they've been a little trickled, they've been kind of quiet. They've just been working on stuff behind the scenes because after the whole loot box debacle with, I mean, that was a long time ago, but that loot box debacle really, really fucking changed the industry. Because when that happened, they started going after Overwatch. They started going after there was like, remember they started like taxing in other countries too? They were like, you can't do this. It's illegal. It's gambling. Like, and it's like, it's a fucking loot box. Like, I don't understand this.
Like, everybody just needs to chill the fuck out.
But it's also the world that we live in. It's fucking super PC. Everybody gets offended by everything. You can't say shit without somebody getting offended. And it's there's that borderline, of course, and I always say this and emphasize it. There's a difference between being like super PC and just being over dramatic. Like it's just one of those things where I've noticed as it evolved over time, especially from the 90s, the 80s to now, like the shit that we grew up with, if that happened with like my daughter now, like CPS would be called every day. You know what I mean?
No,
I mean, because like realistically, our parents were assholes. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Our our parents our parents were assholes. But the one thing that they did do right is by that strict discipline. I'm not agreeing with hitting or anything like that because that's just not okay. But I'm just saying in general, I think because they were so hard on us, that's why we're so well rounded we are now. But also at the same time, it's also why we're so fucking stubborn and we stick to our ways. And because once we get in that niche, we're just like,
Me?
yeah,
Stubborn?
yeah, you
Never.
stubborn, me stubborn, what? Because it's just that's just the way it is. It's come down to our generation is we invented everything. We invented everything that we have now. If you honestly think about it, right? Apple, Microsoft were not even a fucking thing until our generation.
Oh yeah, no, we remember when the original, like when PCs first came out,
The
there
big
were
old
they were
floppies.
but there were command structures,
Yeah.
but it was all command line. The closest you could get was Xtree Gold,
Yep.
which allowed you to get into different types of like a word processing things, but Windows
Was revolutionary.
Windows 95 was the very first one.
I believe so, yes. I think well, it might have been there might have been one before that, but yes, Windows 95 was the first public one, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always look it up too, but the other thing too, you got to think about it. Bill Gates and all those guys, they built that shit in their garage. You hear these stories, and now the guy's what, like fifth in the world, richest now because Elon Musk is number one again.
Yeah.
But even that. Oh, by the way, too, just fun-filled fact for anybody who wants to get verified on Twitter, it goes live again today. And if you have an
fuck that
Apple
bullshit.
device, it's $11 now, not 8, 11, because Apple charges you a tax just to use their app. Another reason why I've always hated Apple. And it's also the reason why Fortnite sued the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And Epic. So, but just in general, when it comes down to the way that we grew up, I look at the generations of video games and all the things that I lost appreciation over the years. But now I look back and I'm like, holy shit, we were the cornerstone. Like we were literally, we were the, if you honestly think about it, like from Atari to now, the graphics, the visuals, they literally are mo-capping people and putting them in games. And it's even going farther than that with Meta and all the other shit that they're doing. But it's just like, it's mind-blowing, the visuals that are in video games now. Like Unreal 5 is definitely taking that next big like wow, like games are getting insane.
Oh yeah.
They're just getting so amazing. And diving into that universe, and I definitely 100% understand why God of War won so many awards but didn't win Game of the Year at the game show, because it was they gave it to Elden Ring, one, because they sold more copies, and also God of War just came out in November, so it didn't have enough time to progress that milestone mark like Elden Ring did back in March when it came out. But also too, Elden Ring, there's such a hardcore Souls community, and they love those type of games. And I honestly like Souls games. I always like the abuse of them. I know that sounds weird, but like
No, like
it's challenging. Well, to me, it kind of reminded me of like playing football. Like if you got the shit kicked out of you, you get up, you just fucking keep moving. You just keep moving. You just keep moving. You got to, otherwise you're not going to succeed. And so that competitive nature inside of me, that's where my competitive comes in a different way. Like not against other people, but against myself, because I'm my own harshest critic, and I know you are too. And I think that's also why we have years of psychological damage from our parents. But also on that front too, you look at this year, because we'll kind of jump into this topic because this has actually been a hot topic on Twitter and also on Facebook and Instagram. It's been kind of everywhere, even on TikTok, about this whole Microsoft Sony thing at the game show. That Microsoft was a no-show. They didn't show any games. And here's the thing. A lot of people are saying it because they were laying low. And Phil Spencer, if you actually go back and watch the show, Phil Spencer, when they zoomed in on him, it looked like he said, I told him not to do that. Like, don't give me any attention, because they're trying to lay low for this Activision thing, because Sony has got their panties all up in a fucking wad. And we blah blah
Sony's
blah,
a bunch of fucking control freaks.
and
I'm
here's the
sorry,
funny
they
thing.
just are.
Well, here's the funny thing, right? With a game like Call of Duty, right? That's what they're so worried about losing because they've been the exclusive rights holders for well over 10 years now. And then before that, it was Xbox. It was always Xbox. Xbox always got stuff first, and they got the exclusives and all that shit.
Yeah.
The only person that is doing exclusives now is PlayStation. They're the only one. You don't see exclusives on Xbox anymore. They get the base game, and no. Not where you can't get them on PlayStation. You can buy the deluxe
Sea of
edition.
Thieves.
Well, Sea of Thieves is an exclusive game. I'm saying like
That's what I'm saying. There are
I'm
exclusives.
saying well no.
Oh,
I'm not saying
in-game exclusives.
no, yeah, like in-game exclusives.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they don't do that
that's-
anymore. That's only Sony. They're like, "Oh, come over here and you get this exclusive skin." And they're doing that trying to steal people away from Xbox
yeah.
and Nintendo and everywhere else. And then the fact that the CEO of Sony came out and said, I don't really care about them signing a 10-year deal of bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo. That's a kid's console. They don't even matter to us.
Yeah.
Like, how can you say that? Like, they're
Well-
literally the leaders. They're the number one selling console in the fucking world. Still.
Hold on. I will say this. If you sit, because right now the Nintendo console is the Nintendo Switch. There is no Nintendo console.
Yeah.
It is a handheld.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is the most popular handheld ever.
Yep.
Even better than the PSP.
Yep. PSP and the DS. Yep. The DS was pretty crazy, but yes.
Yeah. So if you sit a Switch next to an Xbox Series X
Yeah. Or a
and
PlayStation
a
5.
PlayStation 5,
Yep.
there
Graphically, they
is
can't compare.
zero ability for that to even come near the processing power and the speed at which these other two run. They can run mobile versions or the handheld version, like there's the Switch version of PUBG and there's, those type of things. But your graphics fidelity is a complete and total shit show. So is your FPS.
Even Pokemon, it just came out and it had so many frame rate issues. It was running at 30 frames per second. It couldn't even like keep the frame rate up. They said they fixed it or they're going to fix it. I don't know. I haven't played in a while. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
but
100%.
I agree with him on the fact that it's not even, this is not a comparable, like, sure, go great. Bring Call of Duty to the Switch. Have fun with that for starters.
Well, the reason why they're saying it mainly is because they know that Microsoft is using that as saying, hey, we're working with everyone.
Yeah.
And then the CEO of Steam came out and says, we don't even care about that.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't Steam care, though? That's the part that doesn't make any sense because Steam is PC-based. That's where a majority of Call of Duty players are at. They're more on PC than they are on consoles. But I think now with the launch of like Xbox coming out with an app that you can basically just hook up your controller and play.
Yeah.
The market's about ready to shift dramatically. But also you can also see where Sony's greed is influencing Xbox. Because Xbox has been giving everything away for free, all their first-party titles, exclusives, all this other stuff, and now they're raising them up to $70 because of Sony. But the funny thing is that we had this conversation on stream the other day. I'm like, does it really matter? Because who is going to go out there and buy a $70 game when you can buy a $15 membership and get all the games for free?
Yeah.
Because all their first-party titles are free. So Sony doesn't do that. They don't give a fuck. They're just like $70 or fuck you.
Well, and their Sony Club membership thing is
stupid.
The tiered bullshit is just absurd.
It's stupid.
And most importantly, like at least with my contact just came out of place. Most importantly, like with at least when Xbox started doing backwards compatibility and they were bringing all that stuff over. So now you're on Game Pass, you can play pretty much whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
All the old games are there.
Yep.
There's a 360 emulator built into the Xbox Ones and the Xbox One OS.
Well, so look, so we obviously we both work with Microsoft in different assets, in different ways.
With different teams.
Yeah, different teams and different groups, and we were hired on as shoutcasters.
Just was like mind-blowingly stupid.
But here
you can't have backwards compatibility with the 5.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. Well, now you have to pay for it, or you don't get it at all. Blah blah blah
Right.
blah. Yeah.
No,
it's a hot
that's
mess.
fucking dumb.
Now let me ask you this. All right, have you actually used the PlayStation 5 controller yet?
I have one, and I like it.
You have a PS5?
No, no, no. I have the Astro C40.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean the actual like PlayStation 5 controller with the adaptive controllers,
Um.
like the feedback, the haptic feedback.
Yeah, they've always had haptic feedback.
No, that's PS5 thing. It literally only came back basically when you pull down on the
So
triggers.
they take
It doesn't vibrate. It actually like pushes back on your finger. So when you're
Oh,
pulling
that
back,
I did not know.
so
That's
so
fucking cool.
so the controllers itself. I mean, I actually have one right here in front of me. So like the controllers themselves, like on the back, when you push these down, when you actually push these down, there's actual force. So like when you're pulling back a bow, for example, like in God of War,
Different tension.
it has
for
tensions
different
for different actions.
Wow.
So it does
Dude, that's
have some
fucking
cool
rad.
features. But I still, to this day, hate these offset. These like I like the offset. I don't like reaching for the thumbsticks. I like having it offset. Now, granted, you can get Scuff controllers, you can get, Defy Gaming, you can get all these other controller companies that have like amazing pro controllers, and now they're coming out with the PlayStation Pro, which I don't have one of those yet, but I do want to get my hands on one because I heard they are actually pretty intense. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, so PlayStation, right? I have always been a strong believer because PlayStation 1 was my jam. I loved PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1, just the boot up screen, that the chime noise when you turned it on, like everything about it. I mean, like that was the first, console that had Abe's Odyssey. It had Jet Moto. It had like all those old school, but also it's also what brought me my favorite game of all time, which is Final Fantasy VII. So, and I'm a big RPG guy. You know that. I love RPGs. I'm a big fan of them, which tomorrow, by the way, if you didn't know that, there is a brand new, they remade the Crisis Core for Final Fantasy VII, which was originally on the PSP.
No shit.
And they remade it with PS5 graphics and redid a lot of stuff. The reviews already came out. They're about 8 to a 9.5, saying that they redid everything. They basically made it like the new modern version of Final Fantasy VII, because you know how they remade it, and they're making it a trilogy series. So games like that, they're evolving, they're changing. I mean, they're remaking Resident Evil, and they're doing all these other things. But the reason why I brought up the controller is because, like, Sony does have cool things. I've never said that they don't have cool things.
No,
but the problem is with them. Go ahead.
I had a PlayStation 1 before I ever had an Xbox.
Yeah.
But granted, PlayStation 1 came out,
2000. When did it come out? 2000, 99, 2000? It was like, I want to say it was early 2000s. I want to say it was like 2003, 2002, something like that.
Let's see here. No. The
PlayStation
original
1.
PlayStation came out in North America in 95.
95. Jesus.
Yeah, I remember because I had mine for a while because I would.
I guess that's true because I was in high school. I was in high school when that came out. So, because I remember I used to go to my friend's house because he had one and I didn't yet, and we used to go over and we would always get in trouble and his mom would like get pissed because we'd be up all night not doing homework.
Right.
But just in general, like, yeah, I mean, if you think about it too, PlayStation was the first one to go like full all in, other than the Dreamcast or like Sega Saturn, because Sega Saturn tried to jump. Wait, so there was Sega Saturn, but there was a Panasonic too, wasn't there? Like a Panasonic something?
Not that I'm aware of.
I could have sworn there was like a Panasonic console that came out in the early 2000s. But basically, they were all in that race because it was going from N64, because N64 was 64-bit, and then you had Sony that came out with the disc, and they were battling each other. Because you remember, we would have like Donkey Kong, and then we'd have like Sony, and then we'd have like, remember, because Tomb Raider came out, we were like, oh my God, because Tomb Raider, remember the pixelated boobs, man? You can't.
Oh God,
man, that was a teenager's.
I didn't care about that, but
I know you didn't, but I mean, but I'm just saying, like, that game when it came out, that was one of those games that like I actually bonded with my dad, because my dad would read. He wouldn't play it, but he would read the strategy guides. We'd always get the strategy guides, and we'd play through it, and he'd help me get all the collectibles. that's also why I'm an achievement whore now, and I can't fucking not play a game without getting all the achievements. But just those moments, like I look at the comparison, and you look at like Sony to Sega to Nintendo, Xbox, because Xbox came out my first year in the military, which I believe was what, 2001, right?
Okay.
2000. When did Xbox come out? I know you got all that info up, but
I'm pulling. Oh, the Xbox originally came out in 2001.
yeah, 2001.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. And I remember when
because
it
the PlayStation 2 came out in 2000.
yes.
So and I will say to this date, I think the PlayStation 2 has the most games
That it ever had.
ever.
And that, yeah, it had the most. I think it had
Was
the most exclusives and the most games. Period, which built up the Sony fan base like hardcore. But it had one of the roughest launches ever. I remember there was no games for like almost a year. But that's where this topic is going actually, because so Phil Spencer, straight up, he is trying to get this acquisition done so they can move forward. But have you noticed? Because obviously the FTC, I think, just sued Xbox. I think that just happened, trying to stop it. And then Sony has been riddling the world with a bunch of nonsense. Honestly, it's kind of like it's almost become like politics now at this point. It's video game politics, and they're just battling it out and they're going back and forth and but realistically, at the end of the day, I think Xbox is going to succeed. They're going to get Activision. It's going to move forward because they spent so much money. But now, here's the thing. Like Phil Spencer straight up said, he goes, I've been trying to play nice, but now I'm over it. Like now they're getting lawyers and they're getting like hardcore aggressive about what they're going to do and say and how they're moving forward. And you noticed that at the game show, there was no big exclusives. There was nothing about Starfield. There was nothing about any of the first person titles. Redfall, which is going to be one of their new exclusives. We haven't really seen major first person titles, or not first person, but
first party titles.
First party titles from Xbox in a while. I mean, we've had some. We've had some. We had Scorn, which was the first, but it wasn't like
they acquired a bunch of all these different independent studios, trying to have them start working on projects together, and now like we're
3 years in.
4
Well,
years.
no, I would say
it started. 2018 was the big purchase.
Yeah,
remember, because we were
well, the Xbox game show when we went to it.
Sorry, it was
2019.
So,
yeah.
2020. Yeah. So
we're coming up to 3 years.
Into our fourth year. Yeah.
Third, fourth year. Yeah. So, but I remember when they announced all that, all the studios, all the purchases, everything else, and we saw all these games and all this stuff, and we saw Good and Evil from Ubisoft and all these other games, and and you see all these games that were announced forever ago. Skull and Bone is another prime example. We saw that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it got pushed back again. It was supposed to come out in November. They pushed it back to March. Now I think it got pushed back again to April. It's like, dude, is this game ever going to fucking come out? It better be the best game ever, because it's taken for fucking ever. But also, we're coming into, I think, and I said this before, I think we're coming into the hottest video game season we will ever see. Because you got to think about this. Nintendo is coming out hard this year. They got all kinds of... Metroid 4 was announced back in 2019. You know that's right around the corner. You've got a new Donkey Kong is probably right around the corner. You've got the new Breath of the Wild coming out. The Legend of Zelda coming out this year. They've already confirmed the date now. This E3 coming up in June is going to be probably one of the biggest events in video game history, just because of the fact that there's so many games coming out. There's going to be so many announcements this year. I mean, and this January, February, March, and April are so stacked with video games. There are so many games coming out. And it's just like, I mean, we got Dead Island 2 is finally coming out in January.
That's been it's been on its way forever.
Dude, I love that first game. I loved it. Yeah, so the second one coming out, and that's a 4-player co-op. So that's fucking awesome. And I remember Dead Island and Dying Light both came out around the same time, so they were battling for that zombie supremacy. But zombies have died out. Thank God for that, because I'm over the zombie genre. But like now people are, it's starting to get more into other mythos, which I've noticed. They're starting to dive into actual culture, like Greek
Yeah.
mythology, and like you've noticed a lot of games are starting to dive into culture, which is good. That's definitely a good way to move forward, especially with Norse mythology, and that's been popping up a lot lately. Valhalla, you've got God of
Yeah.
War, all these games are diving into it because it's such a diverse, like crazy. I mean, that's my people too, so I love it. But
Yeah.
besides that point, it's one of those things where all these games have kind of developed together, and now we're going into this video game season, and normally video game season's in November,
Yeah.
and we didn't like. I look at all the games. So we got Callisto Protocol, which I got the collector's edition. I haven't even played it yet. Statue's really cool, by the way. It's really freaking cool.
Nice.
Did you have? I got it right here. I'll just show you. Hang on. Yeah, it's actually really really cool. So they actually like,
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
yeah, it's really neat. So it's, yeah, I mean, like stuff like this I love, and this is stuff that I miss because a lot of industries have been cutting back on that. Just because of everything that's been going on in the world, shortage shipments
Yeah.
and everything else. Um, and uh, so we're about ready to wrap up this year. We got 35 hours left, watch hours for the podcast, right? And I know we're gonna hit partner. It's gonna happen, right? All because of you amazing people out there that watch our podcast
All
every
of
single
you
day.
fun people, we love
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Um, what to kind of, because I know we're already kind of pushing over limit already,
Yeah.
but what are you most excited for, DJ, for the rest of this year and next year? What what is like your next big radar piece that you're like, I cannot live without. I want to play this game. I've been waiting for it forever, but if you fucking say Fortnite, I swear to God. But I mean, if you do, great. I'm actually excited for you.
I'm gonna say Halo Infinite.
Oh my God. To be honest with you, dude, I've kind of given up on it. I really have.
Honestly, I have too. I tried to go in and make the hammer for Griffball, and it's a complete total nightmare. And I'm like, this. Congratulations, for the first time ever, I'm no longer. I've never thought
Excited.
there's nothing like it.
Like I was excited for the co-op to come out and all this other stuff,
they have
but it
destroyed our ability to have fun with it.
yeah, I just can't hop in the game and be like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, no.
I still need to
Nope.
do it because there's a lot of new achievements and a bunch of other stuff too, and I want to get those, and I got to get the rest of the skulls. I think. Oh no, I did get all the skulls. I think I did. Yeah, I did get all the skulls. I don't remember. Anyway, so but even so, there was more hype around the Destiny 2 fan favor to Halo than there was Halo Infinite's launch.
Yep.
You know that's a problem.
Well, and yeah, and it's
sad, man. It really is. Like deep down in my gut, it sucks because I really wanted that game to succeed. And I feel like with
all
everybody leaving and all the developers are bouncing out, there's a lot of heads that are disappearing out of 343. It doesn't look promising because when you start seeing a team losing people like that, especially big figures in it, it pretty much means that either one, Microsoft is losing faith in them, or two, things are about ready to dramatically shift, and we may not see another Halo for years. Because Halo Infinite was supposed to be the continuation.
It's a 10-year, that the whole goal was just for the foreseeable 10 years, next decade, Infinite's going to house all the future evolution. Like the game, like right now, the storyline is only partially done.
Yeah,
because they're unlocking other pieces of the ring.
Yep.
But they've got to be able to develop that. And for some reason, I'm not. I wish I knew what was going on. I just don't.
Well, you know, it's the same. It's the same issue too. I've noticed this as well. It's the same issue in Destiny, right? So they flip-flop between PvE and PvP.
Yeah.
And Bungie was the best at developing online multiplayer. They were. They were one of the best in the industry. If you think about Halo 2, even
Oh yeah.
when Xbox Connect, when it wasn't even like an official thing and you had to hook up with a LAN line to your friends and you had to go on your PC and open up a lobby to join your friends so you could play and kind of beat the system so you could play online. Even back then, right? Bungie has always made amazing servers. They've always made amazing games online. Their online multiplayer was fantastic. The servers were great. The launches were always realistically very smooth. And what really baffles me, and it's nothing against, because I mean, literally, you know how much of a fanboy I am of Destiny. It's the reason why I started streaming.
Yep.
But I still don't understand how you are the leader in multiplayer and online gaming, competitive, bringing it up in the nature. I mean, even Ninja was brought up in Halo multiplayer.
Yep.
Everybody, it's where everybody's competitive. Honestly, Halo was the first to really pop off the multiplayer and the game culture online. There is no other game. People say it's like Counter-Strike and all these. No, it literally was Halo. Halo made it mainstream. And here's the thing. When you go from being the industry standard and being the team that does everything, perfectly, lobbies are set up, they're balanced, skill-based matchmaking compared to, server-based matchmaking, and then having those and knowing the balance and what works. And then you get the game like Destiny. You have these amazing characters, amazing classes, and the gunplay is by far, still say this to the day, is the best gunplay in video games.
The problem I have with Destiny is that it is a wash, rinse, repeat constantly. They took away a fuck ton of content that we
They brought it
paid
all back.
for.
It's all back.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
I can play it from day one, Destiny 2, all the way through.
Everything is back except one raid, which was from D1. They brought everything from D1 into D2 now. Almost all the exotics, I think like 85% from D1 and D2 are all in the game now.
Yeah. I want all my shit back. That's what I want.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. All that stuff now, they're doing a progressive story. So it's basically they're moving things forward where the vaulting system is actually a smart way to do things, in my opinion. I like it. But they got rid of that. They got rid of it. And the reason why I say it's a smart idea is because then they could, make room for new content, bring it in, and then bring that back whenever they want. Well, they ended up doing what I said a long time ago, and that's putting all the dungeons, all the raids in a rotation. So now every week it's one of the legacy, but they give you pinnacle gear for doing it. So that way it makes it relevant for doing it. So that's a smart way to do things. Now, the PvP side of things, here's what I don't get. This is where I feel Destiny fails horribly.
Okay.
Going from the industry standard of being the ones that set up Halo and being all PvP, because realistically, the story was always amazing for Halo, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, what kept Halo going? The PvP. The PvP 100% is what kept... And the creative, the Forge, all that stuff too was also really nice too. But I'm just saying in general, it was always the PvP. Like everybody got together, they played their games together, everybody was competitive together, everybody had a good time. The esports portion. Bungie has completely forgot about their PvP roots. And not only that, you say, like PvE is the best it's ever been. The storytelling, they actually just officially announced the first full gay characters in Destiny in a cinematic, which was really cool. And they're definitely trying to take strides to like move things forward. We always kind of knew they were gay, but that's a whole nother story. That's when you dive into the lore and stuff. But Saint 14 and Osiris, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of story that's happened since you've been gone. But But basically, they're doing narrative storytelling. Every week, we get a new piece of the storytelling, which so that way it's consecutive throughout the entire season, which is, do I like that? Yes, but I would rather have a full-on campaign, which what they're doing is every big expansion, they come out with the big, 15 to 20 hour campaign. You can beat it on legendary, which they brought legendary difficulty to campaigns now, which is awesome.
Okay.
So you can do it like Halo, where you can play it regular, you can play it legendary. You play it legendary, you get better gear, which is awesome. But besides that, the PvP, they took out almost 75% of the maps.
Which is baffling to me. Why would you
Why?
limit?
Why
Would you
take them
limit?
away? And I think the reason why is because some of them were buggy, some of them, there was glitches
Okay,
where you
well,
could
in
go through the
that
floor and stuff.
case,
But still, why don't you have a PvP
that's
team
quality of
that
life.
can
You
fix
know,
it and bring it back in the next patch and you're good, right? That is quality of life improvements. That's a quality of life team that goes through and fixes the things when they broke. For the last 4 days too, also, the entire Bungie website, Div and Ishtar Commander is being able to transfer your gear online.
hmm
Everything on you can't, people can't get accepted into your clans. Everything online, you can't accept rewards. Everything has been down for 4 days. So,
Oh God.
so here's
Well,
also where it hurt me. So anybody that was watching my stream, if they watched for an hour, they got an emblem.
okay.
So they got the emblem if they watched for an hour, if they had their Bungie account linked with their Twitch. Well, if you're new and it's one of the first times they've ever done a Twitch drop like that, if you didn't have your account linked and the website's down, guess what happens? People come in and go, how do I get this? How do I get this? Why can't I link? What's going on? They start panicking and freaking out, and I'm the bad guy.
Well,
And so that kind of sucked, but I understand. I mean, shit happens, right? I mean, things crash. I mean, look, my old gaming PC went out when I wasn't expecting it. Shit does happen. I get it, right? But from the PvP side of it, why the fuck? Why the fuck? I still don't understand why the PvP side we lost all of our maps. And they just came out with a big PvP patch this Christmas, and tomorrow they start the Christmas event. It's called the Dawning event, which everybody's really excited about. But that goes into, and then basically we're in our last season before the big Lightfall drop, which we're finally getting a brand new planet. We're going to Neptune, and it's all Neon City, Lost City looking stuff. So it's urban combat, which is weird and also really cool at the same time. And not only that, we're getting a new super, which we haven't had one of those in forever. So they're definitely making strides. And like I said, I get it. They're trying to balance out the PvE and the PvP, right? But with how much money they just got, and also the fact that Sony now owns them,
yeah.
I don't understand why they can't get a developed team. And maybe they do. Maybe we just don't know about it, because you don't hear really bad things about things from Bungie's side of things. Everybody's pretty happy that works there, because I have a friend who works there and he loves it. He says it's amazing. It's like one of the greatest work environments he's ever been in. And he used to work for Blizzard, so that says something. So, but just in general, like that stuff, like I kind of makes me wonder, like, where that divide happened. Like what made Bungie fully pull out of PvP and go for, because they could have an opportunity. They just released this new competitive thing where you can rank up and everything and you get a badge and stuff. But where is the esports aspect? That's how you make a game last.
Well, and that's so
You can't really do that.
you can't. And because there's no, you can't, because there is no way to balance it out. You have to create, for esports, you really need to be creating. Well, see, I take that back. Here's why. So when you look at esports like Halo and COD and things like that, right? You have an equal playing field, as in everybody's got options for the same weapons, the same, and everything's unlocked, right?
Yeah.
If you're a pro player.
Yeah.
And there's a base level of what you spawn with, and you can either find other shit that maybe randomly, like Fortnite, random weapons. It's very random.
Drop in with nothing.
Versus okay, let's go with WoW or Dota. Okay, huge, massive esports scenes that involve a curated play, like
Yep.
curated characters,
Yep.
curated things. So with Destiny, because if you go in with some exotic weapons versus somebody who's got some basics, that's not exactly a fair playing
Well,
field.
yeah, well, that's casual though. But like, if you're a pro player, you're gonna have the best
So then, so
loadout.
then
You're
they
gonna
would.
have everything else. But that's also
So
the
then
other
the
thing too.
option,
Because
yeah,
think about it
the
like
option would need
Valorant,
to be, yeah,
Valorant
for
or
me would be
Overwatch. Because that's
all
that.
exotics.
Well, yeah, but they'll never do that. That would break the game. But just in general, like Overwatch and Valorant, all based on
Mhm.
abilities and powers.
Right.
It's all about balance. Like there's always a balance to something
Rainbow
else.
Six
Like,
Siege,
well,
another grid. You're right, because that balance, you've got to be. No, but
I
it's
know,
that
I know.
same thing. It's the same thing as like
I
Overwatch.
know that I know, but I can understand the competitive nature of that though, because it's
Yeah.
literally like, hey, you got to kill one team or the other. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with that, and that's pretty much all games, right?
Yeah.
But just in general too, like when it comes down to like Overwatch, for example, it's one of the biggest leagues in the world right now, and it's crushing it, and it's all based on that it's kind of curated maps. Like you have to get to point A to point B. It's escorting a drone or whatever, or
Yeah.
it could just be team deathmatch too, whatever. But even so, when you've got what 40 characters and they all have a different ability and then they're divided up into three classes: healer, tank, or DPS.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities. I've seen people go all tank. I've seen people go all healer. I've seen some crazy like teams do some weird stuff. And then even with like Valorant, it's the same thing. It's like there's so many different abilities and things that you can shift and change. So when it comes down to it, what I mean, right now, in PvP, what is your favorite game to play?
For PvP.
Yeah, like period. I
Oh,
mean, honestly, like even with all the
honestly,
bullshit in the industry, like what is
like
your favorite? Just sit down and play. What is your
like
favorite PvP?
my go-to is Griffball, but it's a mode in Halo, and
Yeah,
it's not something supported by a current gen. So I would say the one that I'm most locked into is Rainbow Six Siege.
yeah, yeah,
I fucking love Siege.
yeah,
It makes me think outside the box, and depending on who you're playing with, some people are better with certain weapons than others. And you've got to consider: do we have hard breaches? Do we have soft breaches? Did we see anything with electrics? Do we need EMP grenades so that we can get past any electrified walls quickly? Where are they at? If they're
yeah,
located on the top, then you don't want to use fuse because you can't fuse in down. You're laterally fusing instead of top down fusing.
yeah,
There are so many different elements and aspects to consider when you are choosing who you're going to be.
yeah.
And, but I can also say that after the recent, my recent rediscovery of it, I'm going to say I'm going to probably have fun in Fortnite a lot.
Fortnite's
A
competitive
lot.
is fun, dude. And and
The
the other
one,
what?
oh
Yeah,
shit, sorry. The one I will
yeah,
say that,
yeah. But
the one I will say that I wished I'd gotten into, but I couldn't because the skill gap jumped so fast and so far, and there was no campaign to actually learn and experience things. You're just
yeah.
getting shit on in a matter of seconds. Would be Apex.
Hmm.
Brilliant game. I can't get into it. There's just not enough. There's no time to get
Yeah.
into it because you get into it, you drop in, and you're fucked so fast.
Uh-huh.
As opposed to playing a campaign or playing through PVEs.
I mean, it's really no different than Fortnite in the aspect that you drop in, you both are bare bones. You drop in, and it's whoever gets
Oh,
weapons first. But the problem
no,
is
but
that
there are abilities. There's characters with abilities, and you've got to know how to use these and what they're. And it's like in
yeah.
order to get a chance to use it and get used to it, you have to survive long enough.
Well, there's training modes and stuff. You can actually play. You can actually do stuff outside of the BR stuff to train. You can actually teach yourself the characters and stuff too. I don't know if you know that, but
I
yeah,
did not know
yeah,
that.
you can.
That's
Yeah,
different.
you can actually go in and you can actually like try out each one of the characters in the training ground, and then
Okay,
you can go in there and you can test it out. It'll actually have
cool.
all the weapons, all in the entire game for your disposal to pick up, try out, check out. It also gives you DPS gauges and meters, so you can actually see how much damage you do between headshots and chest shots. Like it's actually pretty in depth the way they have it set up, and they also now
Nice.
have a ranked tourney mode where it's 3v3. So you can actually go in and actually battle 3v3. So they have that as well, which a lot of people like the arena stuff. And it's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool because if you play with 3 people, it's kind of got that siege mentality in a sense, So it's much different. It's definitely that game is very intense. It is very fast paced, and I do love it from time to time. I haven't even tried the new Legend since she came out, but everybody said she's awesome. She's more
Okay.
magic. She's like dark matter and magic. Um,
Cool.
yeah, so it's kind of the first one that they've really like embellished like the abilities even more so. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like honestly, like when it comes down to it, I am glad that you're back into Fortnite. That well, not even back into because you weren't
Yeah.
even really into it to begin with, but just like Fortnite in general, like you're back in it and you like it.
Yeah.
Because dude, it does. And one cool thing too, and I don't know if you know this, but in Fortnite, they have tournaments that you can actually qualify for as an everyday Joe Schmo person
Yeah.
every week, and you can go in and you can win money every week. So if you get good at it, you can
Yeah.
actually go in with your team and you can register. And then there's pre-qualifying, and then you do the pre-qualifying event, and then you go in, and then you start in your bracket and you work your way up. And if you happen to beat it, you make money. And then they also invite you to pro-ams and other stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how a lot of people like Booger and all these other people that are like the I know, I fucking hate his name's Booger. But literally just like him and so many other people, that's how they came up. They were just playing
Yeah.
online at home. 15 years
Yep.
old, and they just crushed at the game. So but yeah, I mean, realistically, we got an interesting next couple weeks. A lot of video games are still coming out this week, especially. High on Life comes out this week, free on Game Pass, for
Oh shit.
PC and it's by the creators of Rick and Morty. And all the guns talk. It's all voice acted by the same people from Rick and Morty. It looks nuts and very crazy. It kind of looks like BioShock, but with a really hardcore comedy.
Yeah, which is going to be fucking hilarious.
Yes, and it's free. If you
The
have
fact
Game
that- yeah.
Pass, it's free. So
Yeah.
it's even cooler because I already got it pre-installed. That comes out, I
It's
believe,
cold.
tomorrow. Yeah, it's cold in here too. That's why I was like, that's why I put the gloves on, dude. I was freezing. But yeah, so
I don't know where I forgot to turn the heat on.
oh my god. But yeah, so we got all these games coming out.
Yeah.
We've only
One of the
got
things to look forward to.
we got what through 2 weeks left of the year.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna hit partnership by the end of this week, guys. And
be rad.
and God, I am so excited for that. I cannot wait to hit that marker. You guys have all been so amazing, and we've been hanging out and kicking it with you guys. We have 2 episodes. I am a dum dum, and also the fact that I forgot
Your PC.
my
shit the
PC
bed.
shit too, but we have 2 episodes that are going to be coming out. One from actually the 28th, right after Thanksgiving and everything, and then we have this episode as well. So if you guys are watching, go back and watch the last episode too, because it was a really good episode actually. And then this episode too, and then hopefully with all these new episodes going live this week, you guys will be able to tune in and watch those and get those up. I'm gonna try after my stream tonight. I'm gonna try to get those all rendered and set up, get them up tonight. Hopefully they'll be live tomorrow morning. And seriously, guys, like we can't say thank you enough because this is another avenue for me and DJ to be able to not only express ourselves but also interact with you guys. And I really do think, DJ, when we go into the new year, and it might be something we definitely should look into, especially with how slow it's been on Twitch and everywhere else in content creation in general. Maybe we should do a couple live shows. Once we get partner, do a couple live shows on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just try it out, touch the
Yeah.
water, because I've never been live on YouTube ever.
It's a process.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
The last time I saw it, it was a fucking
Well,
nightmare.
I've heard it's easy now. I actually heard that, but I heard it's
I'm
you
so
are
sorry.
you are very yawny today.
Well,
Well, you're also hungover.
I'm a little hungover,
Yeah.
and I have
Not enough
cold
coffee?
Coffee. No, this is my first cup, and I drank it until it got cold, and now I want to go up there and make more.
Well,
Anyways, we've been going.
yeah, we've been going for an hour. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
God,
guys, yeah, seriously, thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. We fucking love you guys, and
Yeah.
and seriously, DJ, where can they find you, buddy?
You can find me on all platforms at DJ Blue PDX.
Yeah, all the things. And then you guys can go tune in and watch him play Fortnite. And hopefully we get to play some Fortnite together too, because he doesn't know how good I am at it.
Hey, listen, like I said, last night I got an actual kill at the end. It was great.
Nice. Well, you
I've
killed
also
somebody with
got
a hammer
multiple-
too.
Oh, dude, the hammer! I fucking that was wicked, and I keep finding the hammer, and that's my go-to.
Yep.
Like, but
Just hold down the left
surprisingly,
trigger and
you know,
bounce.
yeah, well, but you know what's really fun that before I would have never picked one up because I was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not bad with a sniper in Fortnite.
Oh yeah, the snipers in Fortnite are fantastic, dude.
Fucking
And they're actually legit. Yeah. So, but yes, so you guys can watch him play Fortnite. Hopefully, we'll get a game together too. But yeah, I mean, we still have not even gone live on our Twitch account. We haven't because we haven't done a live podcast, and it would actually be really cool to do one on both. Maybe we can plan that out and make that content, and then just record it and then bring it over to YouTube for you guys as well. But yeah, seriously, guys, thank you so much. I'm the Lost Drake. You can find me everywhere on. I'm live on Twitch Monday through Friday from 12 o'clock until I don't even give an end date anymore because I just go until I go. Most of the time it's 8 o'clock, but farther. And you guys can find me everywhere on all social medias at The Lost Drake. But from us here, guys, and this holiday, we hope you guys are all having a good Christmas setup. I hope the shopping isn't killing you because I know everybody's tight on money this year. So just, guys, go out there, be happy, be good to one another. And from all of us here at Pardon the D, thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you with the check mark next time. Bye.
We out. Later.